"Get off my lake, or I'm calling the cops." That's what the HOA president yelled at me while I was just fishing from my own dock. This lady actually dialed 911, claiming I was trespassing on community property. When the sheriff's deputy arrived, he glanced at her and said it was a civil matter, nothing criminal. I figured that was the end of it, but boy, was I wrong. Little did I know, this was the start of the craziest neighborhood feud imaginable, one that would uncover a web of lies and turn my quiet retirement upside down. Stick around, because what happened next will make you question every HOA you've ever dealt with. I'm James Harlan, 42, and after 2 decades as a corporate lawyer, I thought I'd left the drama behind when I bought this cozy lakeside cabin in a small Michigan subdivision. The divorce had wiped out half my savings, so this place was my fresh start. Wake up to birdsong, brew some coffee, fish till noon, maybe tinker in the workshop. Simple, right? Peaceful. Or so I thought. One crisp June morning, I'm on my dock watching the sun rise over the water, feeling like life was finally on track. Then I hear tires crunching gravel like a getaway car. A silver SUV skids to a stop behind my cabin, and out storms this woman radiating entitlement: short brunette hair, crisp slacks, and a glare that could curdle milk. She's marching toward me, phone in hand, like she's about to conquer enemy territory. "Excuse me," she barks, filming me like I'm public enemy number 1. "You're trespassing on exclusive HOA property. This is being recorded for legal purposes." Trespassing? On my own dock? I'd closed on this place 3 months ago, dotted every I, crossed every T. But here she is, treating me like a squatter. I set my coffee down, took real restraint not to spill it, and said calmly, "Ma'am, this is my shoreline. I own the cabin and the dock. Reason doesn't work on folks like her." She explodes. "I'm Margaret Pierce, HOA president. This lake is community only. No fishing without approval." She's shaking with fury over a guy with a rod and reel. Then she calls 911. Trespasser refusing to leave our amenity. He's ruining property values. Property values? Because I'm casting a line? The deputy shows up, looks baffled, checks my deed, and tells her it's civil. No arrest. She turns beet red, threatens his boss, but he just drives off. I think that's it, but Nosh tapes a violation notice to my door. $500 fine for unauthorized lake use. Cease and desist or face legal action. That evening, digging through old boxes from the previous owners, I find a faded 1960s survey. It's got boundary lines extending into the lake, mentions an original easement for public waterway access. My lawyer instincts kick, and easements are big in property law. Why was Margaret so desperate to run me off? Something smelled fishy, and it wasn't the lake. Next morning, my neighbor Robert Hayes wanders over, looking shifty. "James, we gotta talk. Margaret's been saying you're a hotshot lawyer here to sue us and steal lake access." Then the bomb. She'd sold him a premium lake access certificate for $3,000, claiming it was a new county mandate for environmental compliance. Fake seals, legalese looked real enough to scare folks. I head to the county office. Emily Dawson, the clerk, examines it. "This is forged. Wrong seal, bad letterhead. Selling these could be federal fraud." Boom. Margaret wasn't just bossy. She was running a scam, extorting neighbors with fear of fines and seizures. The harassment ramps up. Margaret drives by my house repeatedly, snapping photos. Neighbors start avoiding me. The whisper campaign is in full swing. She's a master at suburban warfare, turning trust into suspicion overnight. At the county, Emily confirms more. Multiple families bought these fakes. I tell Robert, he's devastated. $3,000 we couldn't afford, James. She helped with our block parties, how could she? Then Margaret posts notices for an emergency meeting. Environmental crisis demands action. The community center's packed, 28 residents sweating in a stuffy room. Margaret's at the front with a projector, beside a guy in an ill-fitting suit, County Inspector Carter. She launches into a slick PowerPoint. Dead fish photos, stock images, obviously, graphs of pollution spikes from unauthorized fishing. My morning routine? An ecosystem disaster. Inspector Carter spouts buzzwords. Violations of the Federal Waterfowl Protection Act require remediation. Not a real law, I knew it. Then the pitch, $1,000 per household for restoration fees, plus $500 for new compliance certificates. Failed to pay? Federal prosecution, property loss. She's blending eco-fear with greed, and hands shoot up in a panicked vote. But I'm recording everything. This is fraud in real time. I stand. Inspector Carter, which department? He stammers. Margaret deflects. Doubts creep in. Meeting ends with folks clutching fake papers, terrified. Next day, a call. Mr. Harlan? William Carter, real surveyor. We need to meet. At a diner. He spills. He's no inspector. Margaret hired him for boundaries. Found my lot includes the 1960s easement, the key to all community lake access. Without it, no one's legally on the water. She'd planned to buy my cabin, but I beat her. Now, a $50 million resort deal with Lakefront Properties LL share, $5 million cut hinged on controlling that easement. The certificates? Building a paper trail for adverse possession. Recordings prove she scripted the fake crisis to force me out. I loop in attorney Laura Bennett. She digs. Margaret's done this before. Similar scams in other counties, settled quietly. You've got a slam-dunk case for fraud and intimidation. Desperate, Margaret threatens William with license complaints. But Laura protects him. Witness tampering, more charges. The real HOA meeting. I call it properly, 42 residents show. Margaret arrives with her lawyer, smug. But William projects the survey. Mr. Harlan owns the easement controlling everyone's lake rights. Gasps. Then the contracts, recordings. Margaret's meltdown. I've protected this community. You don't understand sacrifices. She confesses mid-rant. Fake docs. Deals for development money. Her lawyer drags her out amid shouts. Vote. She's ousted. Roberts interim president. Full cooperation with feds. Morning after, moving truck at her house. Neighbors gawk as she packs frantically. FBI probes reveal interstate scams. 3 counties, $200,000 stolen. Sentencing, 3 years federal prison for $100,000 restitution. Deals collapse. She's bankrupt. House sold cheap. Banned from HOA for life. Her presidency, invalid due to paperwork fraud. 1 year on, a prison letter. Mr. Harlan, I was wrong. Family resentment from a 1980s foreclosure blinded me. The easement was yours. Genuine remorse. 2 years later, she appears Lakeside humbled, waves tentatively, leaves a note. Thanks for mercy. County has final docs, permanent protection. Voluntary, detailed survey, fund for records. She fixed what she broke. Now, the lake's serene. Coffee at dawn, fishing in peace. Community thrives under Robert, transparent, neighborly. Property values up, families bonding. Margaret's greed birthed real justice. What do you think about injustice like this? Power abused, lives upended. Share in the comments. Have you faced HOA bullying or seen fraud unmasked? Take a stand on violence and unfairness in everyday life. Your views matter. Let's discuss how we fight back.